Bands and musicians have traveled America's back roads for decades, entertaining those who sit on bar stools along the way. Tonight, we introduce you to America's bands and musicians right here in Central Illinois. This is Clubhouse Lounge Radio's Backroads N BarStools.
Welcome, everybody, to Clubhouse Lounge Radio's newest episode of Backroads N BarStools. I'm your host, Keith Gibson, and with me today is a man who is finishing up his Drink Enough for the Town to Talk tour, and just added a few more dates. That's none other than Joe Stamm from the Joe Stamm Band. Joe, welcome to the show. Thank you very much for taking some time out while you're on tour to see us.
Thanks for giving a darn enough about our music to invite me, Keith. Appreciate it, man.
Hey, you got some great music. I love your stuff. You singer-songwriter. How did it all get started for you? I mean, you're originally from Metamora, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Are you from down by? You said? Are you from down by Springfield? You say?
Champaign. I live in Monticello.
Champaign,
so
okay.
yeah. So
okay. I've played in Monticello before.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the old Fieldhouse 219, is it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right, man. I haven't been there in a while, but when I first started playing full time, Michelle would have me down there, and they were super nice to me in that town.
Yeah, we love it. And, maybe we can get you back here someday soon.
Maybe, yeah. I think we tried to do a street festival there once, and we happened to be booked on the date they invited us. But maybe that'll work out down the road.
Yeah, well, we'll see. But how did it all get started for you? A kid from Metamora who just loves to play music?
Yeah, no, that's the thing. When I was in Metamora, I never did really like to play music. I went to college. I went to Northern Illinois, but then I ended up going to a small school in Indiana called Taylor University for my last couple of years. And they, one of their requirements to graduate, at least in the track that I was in, was I had to take some kind of arts course. And so I took intro to guitar my last semester there, and started playing guitar, and within a couple months, started writing a few songs and just kind of grew from there. Because when I grew up, I was mainly into sports, and that took up most of my time. And then obviously, by the time I was graduating college, sports were not something that I was going to be able to pursue past that. So it just kind of grew out from there.
And you have a great following. I mean, over 30,000 followers on Facebook, man. That's awesome. So you're a popular guy, but it's because of your music. So let's talk about some of your music you got.
Sure.
Last full-length studio album came out not too long ago.
Yeah.
It's The Good and the Crooked, the High and the Horny. And I don't think that's an awesome name for an album.
That actually came out a year and a half ago. We released one since then.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we released one called Midwest Town back in just this last September, and then the September before that, Good and the Crooked and the High and the Horny came out. So, but yeah, I'm glad you dig the album. It's the lead track on that record, and it just felt like it suited the record and the feel of that album. And there's always I always told people, no matter who you are, you can identify with at least one of the characters in the titles of that song.
That's the truth. And that says a lot about the Midwest too, so.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So Midwest Town, though, you come out with that. And is it easy to write just being a Midwest guy, being here and from Illinois and being in the Midwest? Sure. And, it's kind of in your roots, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think you just write out of your own experience, no matter where you're from. And the Midwest is as rich a culture as there is anywhere in America or anywhere else for that matter, as far as I'm concerned. So there's plenty of material to draw from, and you just kind of write out of that experience.
So you go on tour. You've been on tour now for a while. You're going to, Minnesota. You've got Wisconsin and a couple spots in Illinois coming up. And you said you just added some spots too. Where else are you going?
Yeah, we just added a date in Nashville for April 14th. We're going to be down there starting on another record that week. So we booked a show to kind of kick that week off on April 14th at the Underdog. And then we added a run of shows out to Nebraska for late April, just as kind of an encore. And we didn't get a chance to add Nebraska to the Drink Enough for the Town to Talk tour. And we've got a lot of good friends and folks out there. We wanted to make sure we got a chance to visit.
Happy belated birthday, by the way.
Thank you. It was a bash.
I'm sure it was. I'm sure you had a good time.
We did. We had a couple bashes. We had we had a show in Peoria to kind of that's our second annual one that we put together. I usually invite a friend to open for us, and then we just have a blast out there at cruising. So we did that a couple weeks ago, and then I had some folks over. We had built in some time to kind of do our own thing with close friends and family this last weekend. So we're still kind of just recovering from that.
Well, I could say, sometimes I like to have a birthday month. Mine's coming up next month.
Absolutely.
So, you got to celebrate all year long. The older you get, you have to.
Yeah, and it was definitely a birthday week, which is part of kind of being born the same week as St. Patrick's Day anyways, plus you have the NCAA tournament. So it's a great week to actually have a birthday. You get to do a lot of celebrating.
There's nothing wrong with that. So what's it like being on tour for you? Getting out and seeing all your fans and playing with the band. Is it a grind or is it something you just absolutely enjoy doing?
It's both. It can certainly be a grind. But at the end of the day, it's a blessing to be able to do it, to be able to go, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hours. And at the end of that trip, find people who are there specifically to see you and hear your music. And that's something that's kind of become a reality over the course of the last couple of years. The shows where we show up and there's nobody there who knows who we are becoming much more few and far between. So it's rewarding, but there's nothing easy about just, packing up every week, and leaving for 3 or 4 days and living out of a suitcase and hotels and McDonald's and Waffle Houses and stuff like that.
That's good stuff, though, man.
Yeah, it is. McDonald's and Waffle House are great when you don't necessarily have to eat at them every week, So,
right.
But they can get old. All that said, though, it's a good life, man. We're really fortunate to be able to get out there and do it. Hopefully the gas prices will go back down again in the future and it'll become a little more cost effective again.
Well, that's one of my questions I had for you too. Is that going to? I know you said you're going down to Nashville, getting ready to record a new album. Yeah. The tour's winding up. It's probably almost perfect timing here with the tour winding up with gas prices the way it is, because it's making it hard on musicians and bands, to do that.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely, put it on the pile of challenges that doing this for a living is. Obviously, it's just more out of the bottom line. Fortunately, we're able to still remain profitable enough that we can do it, for the time being. So all you can really do is move forward. There's always going to be, there's always going to be stuff in the road, so to speak, that bumps in the road, I guess I should say, so to speak. But you just got to figure out ways to manage them and get around them. We do have some break time built in, and that was really so that we can start a new record. So the timing is good for that. Hopefully some of the conditions out there in terms of cost will go down. But shoot, I mean, you never know. It might just be a reality that we've got to start to work around, and we'll do what we can. We'll do it until we can't do it,
I hear you, man.
Yeah.
So let's talk about a new album. What can we expect on the new album? I mean, did you write everything on the new album? Have some collaborations, or what do we got?
I don't have any collaborations on this one. I wrote every song, 100% of every song on this new record, actually. And it's songs that, have kind of piled up in my notebook over the course of the last year or two as we've been touring and as we were kind of finishing up the last record. And so I don't want to say more of the same. The songs sound different. It seems like, if you go from the Good and the Crooked record to the Midwest Town record, there's definitely a difference in feel and tone. I would like to think in quality, I'd like to see that bar continue to rise as we release new content. And I think this next one will be more of the same. There's definitely some songs and some topics in this next record that I haven't touched before. So it'll be interesting to see how that's received. And I think there's some real zingers on there that people are going to like. So we'll see.
Yeah. What I love about you, Joe, is you don't have a problem writing about anything. I mean, that's what I've kind of noticed is you'll write about anything and sing about anything. Yeah. And I like it,
Right.
Including I saw a performance, I think it was on YouTube, of Whiskey Dick. And I love it.
Yeah.
Because it's true. It's true. It's not the truth. But,
I tell our crowds that the only place I believe in the world you can go where people, and particularly women, will request Whiskey Dick is at a Joe Stamm Band show, and then cheer for it at the end. a lot of times. So it's a unique experience.
It's ironic, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's certainly ironic. Yeah,
Well, that's
for
awesome.
sure.
So, what else is on the horizon? How long have you guys been together? Let's get to know you a little bit more. What's something you
Yeah,
like to do when you're in your free time?
sure. Well, we've been together. Let's see, Bruce and Dave, who are the bass player and guitar player respectively. This September, I believe, will be 6 years that we've been together in this band. The drummer Tim Cramp has been in it for his 1 year anniversary is actually coming up here in April. So, so as the group currently stands in completion, we've been together for a year, but the bulk of it been together for almost 6 years. As far as stuff that I like to do other than play music, I got a couple dogs. I like to raccoon hunt. I just renovated my garage and put a new workbench in there and a bunch of stuff out there. So I like to use my hands in that way as well. And other than that, we've got a couple acres out here, still in central Illinois with a pond on it and some timber ground to stomp around in that surrounds it. And me and my wife just like to hang out, because when you're on the road 3 or 4 days a week, the time at home becomes a lot more special and a lot more valuable. So a lot of times it's just bumming around here.
I hear you, man. That's why I spend a lot of time, as you can see, in my garage. I've
Yeah.
got it set up to spend time out here and have friends over, and it's special to me too. So I get that. When you
Yeah.
have off time and family time is most important. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
being a Central Illinois guy and coming back and playing, I saw you get to come back and you play for your birthday and right around your
Sure.
hometown and everything. How hard is
Yeah.
it for you to say hi to everybody you want to say hi to and still be able to work? Because I know,
Yeah.
I didn't grow up here. I grew up in Southern Illinois. And you go home and it's like you want to
Right.
see so many people, but you can't. And it's hard for you. Is that just as hard?
Yeah, it can be. Before we played the birthday show, actually, by the time, and my wife even said this, before we even started, she's like, "You're gonna be able to sing?" Because by the time you've been there for a couple hours and you want to make sure you say hi to everybody, you want to make sure everybody knows you appreciate that you're there, and you can definitely end up burning out your voice before you even start singing for the night. And even at my private party that I had here the other night with just a few friends and family, the next day I said to my wife, I feel like I just didn't get to talk to everybody as much as I would have wanted to. So you do get stretched a little thin, and I think there's always an anxiety for me, especially when I'm playing around my hometown, for me to get people face-to-face time. I never want to be somebody that folks think has gotten too big for their britches or anything, because I certainly don't feel that way. And I want people to know that I value them and that I appreciate them. And it's hardest, I think, to get people who've known you for longer to buy in to something like a music career. Like, who's this guy think he is? But I've been fortunate that there's been a lot of friends and family that do believe in what we're doing and have been gracious and continue to be supportive, whether it's buying merch or showing up to shows or just running into me and saying, "Hey, I heard your latest song and I really dig it." So that kind of thing's important to me, and it's something that I don't take for granted.
I hear you, man. I hear you. Let's talk about your merch. Some great
Sure.
merch. I mean, you've got some great merch out there, from your Midwest AF shirts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
From your OPE shirts to everything you got.
Yep.
Where can people find
Yeah.
your merch?
On the website, joestammBand.com. There's a shop on there, a store on there that you can click. And my wife, actually, I got to give her the credit for that. She's a graphic designer, and so it gives us the flexibility to come up with all kinds of different stuff. And she handles pretty much all that from A to B. We'll kind of come up with ideas together, and then she'll bring them to life and get the shirts or the hats or the stickers or whatever ordered, and then she manages all that and just does an incredible job of keeping a great variety and come out with new stuff all the time. We got more new stuff coming out soon.
Well, that's exciting.
And yeah, and we always do, and I think we try to keep it fresh. And so, because I'm personally a merch junkie. If I go to a show, I'm going to walk out of there spending $50 to $75 at a merch table. And I think that's why we're so enthusiastic about it. I'm glad that people have really bought into it and got excited about all the merch options with us.
Well, your hats are fantastic. I ordered some of that and ordered a new shirt from you too, so I love that.
Thank
I'm
you,
the same
Keith.
way.
I
Oh,
appreciate
you're welcome.
that.
I'm the same way. If I go to a different venue or bar, I want one of their shirts.
Yeah,
You know,
I know it.
I want to support them as just as much as they support me, and so I get that
Yeah.
completely. So, does your wife go on tour with you, or does she just stay at home and handle kind of the day-to-day stuff that you need to
Yeah.
handle?
Both. She the last few years she has went pretty much on everything with us. This year we have the responsibilities back here at home and just maintaining the merch business in and of itself has become enough that for shows that aren't, she'll still go to all the big shows, the festivals, the stuff where I can't possibly be there. But I've done a little bit more of manning the merch table myself this year, just so that she has opportunities to stay home and catch up on some of the day-to-day work that has to take place out here. But anytime, like she's going to Minnesota with us this week.
Awesome.
Anytime it works out to get away, and we don't feel like we're exhausting the dog sitters too much, she'll still try to get out there on the road with us here and there.
Yeah, because the pups are important.
They are. And my old man, he's 73 or 74, I think. And he's had to do a lot of dog watching. We got a couple friends that watch the younger dog too. So we really worked him hard last year. We're trying to give him a little bit of a break this year and let Elise stay home some of these weekends.
Joe, before I let you go, I don't want to take up too much of your time, and I appreciate you being here on Backroads and Barstools, but
absolutely,
what's something you're looking forward to in the future? Where does Joe Stamm go, say, 3 years from now?
Man, I don't know. I read an interview or heard an interview or whatever with Leanne Womack many years ago, and she said the most exciting time of her career was when she was climbing. And so all we're doing, is climbing, and I hope to just continue that climb, to continue to develop. And I think the main thing for me, the thing that keeps driving me, is being able to write and record and release more music. So in the next few years, I've got two records right now that are in planning stages, and different kinds of records that we're hoping to put a big dent in this year and be able to start releasing in 2023. We'd like to do a full band live album, here in the next couple years. There's all kind, and of course, I hope to keep writing so that we can continue to do studio albums. So the main, I don't know, where we're going to be, how big we're going to be, quote unquote, or any of that stuff. What I do know is that 3 years from now, we'll have released a lot of new music. And as long as we can keep doing that and keep having fun doing that, I think no matter where we find ourselves on the spectrum of success, we'll be in a good place.
Well, if you keep doing what you're doing, Joe, you're going to be way up there, because your music is great. Your fan base keeps growing, and you've got all of our support here at Clubhouse Lounge Radio, without a doubt. So thank you for joining us here on Backroads and Barstools. If you ever need anything, we'll get you that, and we'll get you some merch too, because I know if you're a merch guy, I'll get you some merch.
I love merch, man. Send it up.
We'll get it to you. All right, man. All right. Jeff, thanks for joining us here on Backroads and Barstools. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. We're going to play one of Joe's songs, Joe Stamm Band songs. So if you don't know his music, you're going to get to know it right here on Backroads and Barstools.
Kester Homes is your full-service real estate team. They work all of Champaign County and a full 60-mile radius around. What really sets Kyle, Tiffany, and their team apart is they work with home buyers, home sellers, and build new construction homes. So they really are seeing all angles of the real estate industry, from existing homes, investment properties, and new construction. Contact Kester Homes at 217-390-5953 or visit online at kesterhomes.com. That's KOESTER homes.com. Kester Homes is a licensed real estate broker with the Keller Williams, the Real Estate Center of Illinois.
She said it sure is hot out there. She was counting out my change, but I'd give back the air to get back to simple days. I traded her a smile for my change and a case of beer. I told her simple's what I'm looking for around here. I'm wandering around and around these two-lane Midwest towns, looking for some answers in the evening cricket sounds. Tune in and in the cicada buzz. Tune in now, the FM man sits down next to me and he orders up around. Says he lost his wife last year, but his kids are all still here. And every day at 3, he drops in for a can of beer. I'm wandering around and around these 2 lane Midwest towns, looking for some answers in the evening barroom sounds. Tune in the neon buzz, tune in out the TV buzz. 30 miles an hour with the windows down to a 2-lane Midwest town. There might be someone out there sitting on a park bench with a puzzle piece hidden in a word that helps this world make sense. I'm wandering around and around these 2-lane Midwest towns, looking for some answers in the evening cricket sounds. Tune in the cicada buzz, tune in out the FM fuzz.